Previously on Fumblelore, what do you remember from last time?
I set a book on fire.
Evelyn set a book on fire.
How did you set a book on fire?
I said a word.
What word?
That's actually a good question. What word did I say?
Alden Mira.
Yeah, Alden Mira.
Alden Mira. And what was important about that word?
It's the maiden's name.
It was the answer to the answer of the puzzle. Say the maiden's name at the well.
Why do you think the puzzle is important?
Because it gave us an answer to a word that sets books on fire. Or light. I don't know. It's either a light spell that went awry and set the book on fire, or it is an actual fire spell.
What were the books?
They were the 12 founders of Ithrodel.
Mm-hmm.
The founding fathers of Ithrodel.
The founding families of Ithrodel.
Families, not fathers. Yeah, it'd be families.
On that note, would you roll a d4 for me?
4.
Pick a card.
You're present. Do you have any opinions or views that you are afraid to share with others? What holds you back?
Okay, that's a tough question.
I mean, some of these are meant to be tough questions.
Yeah.
To figure out, like, the nature of your character and their core beliefs and experiences and things like that. I have a good idea of what Mavens may be.
Yeah, what would that be?
Considering you came from a society that thought that books were bad, you hold the opinion that books are not bad.
I actually wasn't thinking about that. But yeah. That'd be one. That would be one. Books are good, not bad. Some rulers and leaders' opinions are horrible, even if everybody likes them.
Why do you keep that opinion to yourself? Why are you afraid to...
Maven would keep it to herself from fear of more oppression.
What opinion or thoughts does Haun have that aren't popular and he's afraid to share them?
Haun being Haun, I think there wouldn't be a lot that he would keep to himself of opinions of people.
Gabriel sucks.
I think that is opinion you make readily known on
a daily
any occasion that you can. I mean, you guys have already gotten into 2 fights so far?
Well, it's not a daily basis. It's only been a day. Okay.
Well, yes. Okay, multiple instances within a single day.
He likes pickles.
Han likes pickles. Okay, that's great. That's fine. The question is, why would he be afraid to share that opinion with others?
Because it's street food.
Is there something about street food and Slyborns that you're distrustful of?
Well, most people think of street food as food from the trash. So if I say oh, street food is really good, they're going to be like, oh, so you like trash?
Oh, okay. So there's a stigma that street food is... I'm getting very Zon vibes to that comment. How the people of Piltover look down on the food that people in Zon ate. That's what it reminds me of. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it.
It says Alden Mira.
The moment that you say that, there is a sudden sound that sounds like a spark. You look around not knowing where this sound is coming from, and then you see down in the notes, you see the name Alden Mira all of a sudden start to glow, a faint glow that grows brighter as these golden flickers around the edges of the text start to highlight.
She drops the book halfway through.
You drop the book, and because you roll with fear, the pages all of a sudden burst into flames. You all watch as this flame grows and flickers and flits, this blue flame that sits on the surface of the pages. And as you watch them, they're like a candlelight that sits just above the edge of the page, steady and calm. And you notice that the pages underneath seem fine. unchanged, unburned, unscorched, seemingly not reacting to this blue flame that is now bursting forth from its surface, as if the fire is resting on them rather than consuming them. Then, as quickly as the fire came, the flame goes out. Not blown out, not smothered out, just gone. The pages are exactly as they were, unburned, unscorched, untouched. The room is very quiet, apparently. Sable is the first to break the silence.
Is everyone all right?
Does that usually happen when that word is said? I don't want to say that ever again.
Sable looks at Aldrich. Aldrich looks at Sable. The both of them
I'm scared.
look at you, and they shrug.
Can I say Aldenmira?
You want to say it?
I say Aldenmira.
You say Aldenmira, exactly as Maven did a moment before the pages burst into flames. But as you say it, nothing happens. Make a knowledge roll. You need to beat an 18.
Okay. 10 with hope.
Mark a hope.
That's a 20 with hope.
Han, since you rolled so high, you go over to the pages and you pick them up, and surprisingly, they are cool to the touch. As this flame was burning and you noticed that the fires were resting on the pages instead of burning the pages, that moment felt intentional to you, like the page itself was holding something. And you look down at the pages and you notice that the word Aldenmira is no longer written on the page. You don't have a word for that feeling that you felt, but you know that what you sense, that instinct about something being contained in the page is sound. Do you tell her that the word is no longer written on the page?
Yeah. Aldenmira is no longer on the page.
Maven, because you only got a 10, but you got with hope, you have this momentary feeling, this flicker in your mind, this memory of the day before, the color of the flame matching the one that you saw earlier in the day on the columns on the bridge. You don't understand what it means. Everything else seems unclear as you're still reeling from this moment of the pages almost bursting into flames. The fear.
They kind of did.
Yeah. That fear of almost having lost this thing that seems irreplaceable is subsiding, but still lingers within you.
Could we go outside?
I don't want Gabriel to get us caught. Also, where is he?
On that note, I'm gonna burn a fear. Gabriel comes over and without a word, he grabs the pages out of your hand and he takes one of the pages and he rips the corner off. And he heads over to the fireplace against the wall.
I want to pants him.
You want to try to pants him?
Okay, fine. I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna get in the way of this.
Let's say that this is a finesse roll.
So if I get a critical success and I have a -1 on finesse, would it still be a critical success?
Yeah.
It's a 23 with hope.
You run over and you you pants Gabriel. And as you do, he is still trying to step forward towards the fireplace. And so as he tries to take his next step, he trips and he falls. And as he falls, he reaches out and he lets go of the piece of paper. It floats in the air towards the fireplace. And the second that the edge of the paper hits a tip of one of the flames in the fireplace, all of a sudden it bursts into a bright blue flame, burning for a moment as the page falls to the ground in front of the fireplace.
Can I grab it and start
So
blowing
if
on
it
it?
comes in contact with real flame, it reignites?
You want to try to grab it? Make me an agility roll. You need to
quick
be...
feet work?
Yeah, quick feet could probably work in this moment
How
because
much-
you're trying to get
what
there.
do I need to beat?
You need to be 12.
That is a 18 with hope.
You run over and you pick this piece of paper up. Unlike before in the pages with the flame sitting on top of the pages cool to the touch, you pick up this piece of paper And as you do, it burns your hands, and it does 3 damage. What's your threshold?
Oh, that's minor.
So it does minor damage. Your fingers are burned unless you want to burn a shield slot and just take it down to no damage.
Nah.
Okay, you pick up this piece of paper and it is burning hotter than you would think a piece of paper should burn. You try to blow it out, but as you try to blow it out, it makes the page burn faster and faster.
I put water on it.
Where do you get the water?
From the table.
Just run to the table, dunk your hand in a glass of water.
You run over the table and you dunk your hand in this page and this flame into the water, and as you do, the flame goes out. You pull this piece of paper out of the water and you notice that almost all of it has been completely burned away.
Maven's just gonna turn and walk into another aisle of books and start looking at the books.
Why? I'm curious.
Just wants to get away from all the conflict.
You walk down one of the stacks and out of the area. Haun, is there anything else you want to do in this moment?
Well, I have a feeling Gabriel's going to try and punch me.
As you're looking at the last of the remnants of this page in your hand, Aldrich comes over and he grabs your hand and looks at it, looks at the burned pages. He thinks for a moment before he says,
The old world had materials that were different than what we make now. Paper, stone, cloth, things made during that age, during that time. I always suspected that some of these things were preserved and were made of such materials. I didn't know what it would take to prove it.
He grabs the last of the page from you. You see Sable come up next to you and she says,
Whatever this means, and I think it means a great deal, you can wait until tomorrow. We all need sleep. You need sleep. All of you need sleep. And I need to think.
She says that in a tone of someone that isn't asking. And Aldrich turns and he walks to the back of the room and out of sight. Later, Aldrich has prepared spaces for all of you to sleep in the back of the library. Not comfortable exactly, but warm and
works.
hidden and safe. He brings blankets on these makeshift beds that are all in the same room, scattered with books and with chairs and with a desk in one of the corners. Shivani sits on her bed and you can see that she has a book in her lap and she is furiously writing on it. Gabriel sits in one of the chairs in the room saying nothing. The book that he was carrying before, his family book, sits on his lap, not open, just closed. He sits there next to a desk holding a small lamp as it starts to flicker and fade and then suddenly go out. Gabriel doesn't move. He doesn't try to relight it. He doesn't try to do anything. He just sits there. Haun, as you're laying down, is there anything that you're doing or anything that you're thinking in this moment?
No.
No? Let's say because of your sly-born past and because of your experiences, you're the kind of person that can fall asleep almost immediately with the pragmatism of someone who's learned to sleep whenever the opportunity exists. And this opportunity now exists, and you fall asleep in a matter of moments. Maven, as you're laying there, is there anything that you're doing or anything that you're thinking about?
She's probably thinking about, like, the blue flames and what they represent. She's used to falling asleep on, like, hardwood or stone floors. Just because she would sleep anywhere, it takes her a while, but she can. She's just thinking about the entire day, because it's only been a day.
As you lay there thinking about this entire day, thinking about everything that has happened, and thinking about that blue flame, you concentrate on that moment and you think about the flame. You think about the wisps of smoke or something coming off of these and going up into the air. And you follow these wisps as they go up into the air, up into the clouds, and you see clouds start to form and then start to make their way towards you, moving towards you, all these clouds moving in your direction faster and faster and faster. And you realize that the clouds aren't the thing that is moving. You are the thing that is moving. You are flying, not falling, not floating. You're flying with purpose, with power. You can hear beats, these rhythmic hums, pushing waves of air out behind you as you move faster and faster into the clouds and into the sky. Suddenly, you break through these clouds and you look down. You can see water, a huge expanse of water laying before you in all directions except for one, straight ahead of you where you see land. You see an island. An entire island spread out beneath of you like a map that has come to life, with streets, with buildings and structures. The coastline curves, the forests on it are impossibly green. The mountain ranges catch the morning light along its eastern spine, and that same light bounces off the rivers, coming down off the mountains like silver threads running through this island out into the ocean. And you see all of these things, and you recognize this island. You know this island. It is your island. And as these beats of air start to beat around you, you descend. But as you descend, something changes. You feel it before you see it. A tremor in the air and a shift of light, a sound like the deepest bell that you've ever heard that is struck once at the center of the land in front of you, and then the island cracks. Not slowly, not gently, but violently, it tears itself apart. The waterways that once connected the rings of the structures on the island are now split apart into two halves that pull away from each other, as if repelled from each other, as if being pushed apart.
Are we both having this dream?
No, just Maven.
Dang it, man.
The mountain range splits at its midpoint. The forests on the side that were once impossibly green now go dark. And from the gap of the two halves, you can see a mist start to rise, thick, pale, moving with intention, feeding out, wrapping itself around these now sectioned pieces of the island, and all of a sudden consuming all of it in a dark cloud that you can no longer see through. You're still flying, but you're no longer sure where you're going. And something starts to pull you downward. Not a fall, but a direction. You follow that urge, that impulse, without knowing how to stop. The islands below you have now receded, and you find yourself moving towards something dark, something massive, flying into what looks like a cliff and then flying through it into darkness. All of that sound around you fades and then disappears into complete silence. Almost silence. As you feel yourself touch solid ground, you can hear it. Slow, deep, rhythmic, breathes in and out. You see nothing, but you can feel it, those waves of air rushing past you. And then all of a sudden, in the darkness, two eyes open. You can see them because they glow a faint blue and gold, and you see them blink, you see them look around, and then all of a sudden, those eyes, now aflame, look at you. And then you wake up. It's morning. The library is quiet. The fire in the room that you're at has burned down low, and there's a small window that you can see pale gray light streaming in through the window. You know that the light hasn't broken through the shroud yet, and so that faint gray starts to illuminate everything in the room. Somewhere outside, you can hear faintly the sound of hammering and voices and something that maybe sounds like music.
We made it to the next day!
You made it to the next day.
It only took 10 episodes.
It only took 10 episodes, but we're on a new day.
I think this campaign's only gonna last 4 days.
Yeah, probably. It's going to be like 100 episodes that'll only span like 4 days. No, it's not going to be like that. On that note, because we took a long rest, what you can do is there are benefits to taking a long rest. You can fully recover your HP, your stress, and your armor. You can prepare, or you can advance a personal project if there is a personal project that you're working on. Just because everything that's happened, I recommend doing the full recovery of your HP, stress, and your armor.
We didn't take any damage.
Han did a couple of times.
I didn't take any damage.
So Han over here got in a fist fight with Gabriel, from which he
Twice.
took damage and lost
I'm
his
gonna
shield.
full recover.
Maven, is there something that you want to prepare for, or a personal project that you want to work on?
Write down whatever kind of a dream I just had, and then I don't know, eat.
Sable walks into the room with a tray. On the tray is a simple breakfast as well as the pages. You could tell that she hadn't slept the night before. You can only assume that she had been up all night studying the pages that are sitting on the tray that she's carrying. She sets down the tray and she says,
The festival is already setting up in the courtyard. It's gonna be a busy morning and mid-morning, which is good for you because crowds are cover.
she starts to look at each of you. She looks at you, Maven. She looks at you, Han. She looks over at Shivani, who's still asleep on the bed. And now, I am going to roll. She looks over at Gabriel's bed, and all of a sudden she gasps. Because Gabriel's bed is empty. You look around the room, and you can see that Gabriel is gone. In the moment that Sable realizes that Gabriel is gone, without thinking, she grabs the tray and runs out of the room, calling for Aldrich.
I didn't think he was that much of an idiot, but he has proved me wrong.
Could I go outside?
There's a festival, and now Gabriel's missing. Crud.
You want to walk outside? Are you going to follow him?
Probably not, just to stay with Shivani so she doesn't completely panic. But
Han, you start to head to the door at the front of the library towards outside where you think Gabriel might be and where you can hear all of these sounds of activity. Before you reach the door, you hear Sable run up towards you, and she says,
Wait, this is important, okay? Stay in character.
She checks over your disguise, making sure that it's good enough. She pulls something out of her pack that she wears around her waist, and she marks up your face a little bit.
Stay in character. If someone speaks to you, you're visiting from the outer settlement, like a fishing community along the northern coast, okay? You came for the festival. You don't know anything about humans or the bridge or anything that happened. Understand?
Again, she looks you over and says,
All right, be safe. The main well is in the old district, northeast of the courtyard, through the market quarter. It takes a while to get there without stopping, so if that's your destination, so be it. I'm not going to be able to go with you. There are answers that need to be found, and I need to stay here.
Okay.
You walk out the door of this library back into the courtyard where you first entered this location. The morning air is cool and it smells of salt and something baking. You can smell food, things that are sweet, things that are savory, coming from all different directions. The streets are bustling. There are residents moving around with purpose, carts being wheeled around. There's a cat sitting on the windowsill above you, watching with complete indifference, as cats are. And you can hear music. Festival music, and as you look towards the music, towards the strings and the percussive sounds bouncing off each of the buildings in this courtyard, you can see a festival being set up. You can see different stalls with different items and wares for sale. You can see different performers on the street starting to practice. You can see people walking around and talking. You can see signs being put up on the buildings and over the gate leading to where the bridge is, or where the bridge was. You can see colors everywhere, deep greens and oranges and purples that are just covering everything. The fountain at the center of the courtyard, where the seraph stands atop of its pedestal, you can see that someone has woven flowers throughout the base of the statue, bright yellow. These flowers you don't have a name for, but they are vibrant, and they catch your eye, as then you see children of all shapes and sizes and races running between the stalls. You see a group of elderly goblins next to you playing music in a corner by one of the buildings, and the smell of food is almost overwhelming and immediately wonderful. You see banners stretching between buildings. One in particular you can read plainly and clearly that says, "We are safe. They did not come."
Could I go to where the bridge originally was and see if Gabriel's there?
You walk over to the gate with full intent of walking out the gate towards the bridge, or where it used to be. But as you get closer, you can see that the gate has been boarded up, and you see two guards standing at the gate. One fairy, one insect-looking guard, and another a goblin, both having a spear in hand and looking out of the crowd.
Could I look around at all the shops and see if Gabriel would be by any of them?
Do you want to look at the shops, or do you want to find Gabriel? Because I feel like those are two different things. You want to find a Gabriel? All right, go ahead and make an instinct roll. You need to beat a 20.
21 with hope.
You turn your back on the gate and you look out into this courtyard, a full view of everything in front of you, the festivities going on. You hear the music, you smell the food, you see the people running around, and you see a figure across the courtyard and behind one of the buildings that you, for a moment, think you recognize the shape of. You think it might be Gabriel. You can't see this figure clearly because the sun still hasn't come up over the shroud, but you can tell, you can see that it's looking at you. This figure is watching you.
Can I walk over?
You walk over across the courtyard, further into this crowd of people, more towards the music and the smell of food and of fun, and I need you to make an agility saving throw.
Why? 18 with hope.
As you keep walking, all of a sudden, a group of kids that are running past run into you and knock you over, or start to knock you over. You're able to catch yourself and pivot away from this group of children that are running by, laughing and giggling as they do. You catch yourself, and as you catch yourself, you spin back around towards the direction that you had been walking, and you see that the figure is no longer behind the building.
I keep walking.
Okay, you keep walking. You reach the building. You look over the corner and you see crates and barrels and a pile of rocks and other streamers and decorations that haven't quite been put up yet, but you don't see.
Can I look inside the barrels?
Make me a strength roll to see if you can lift the lids off these barrels.
Oh, strength?
Yeah.
Okay. 17 with hope.
17 with hope. You walk over to these barrels. You start to lift up the lid, but as you do, I'm going to burn a fear. You look inside. What do you see inside of this barrel?
I don't know, weapons, I guess?
You open this lid, almost expecting to see Gabriel, but as you pull the lid off, you see shiny objects. You know immediately what they are. You are well familiar with these type of objects. These are weapons all shoved into this barrel, when all of a sudden you hear a voice behind you scream, "Aye, that's not yours." You turn around to see a goblin, a short, stocky, mean-looking goblin with scars over one side of his face, looking at you and rushing over quickly.
I'm gonna say, oh, my bad. I was looking for my friend. We were playing this game called hide and seek.
Wherever he is, he's not here, so get. And he grabs you and pulls you away from the barrel, putting the lid back on and shoving you out the street and back into the courtyard.
Okay.
Can I wake Shivani up?
You reach out in anticipation of shaking Shivani awake, but right before you can touch her body to shake her awake, you look down and you can see the book sitting by her on the bed, the one that you recognize from the night before with her scribbling in it. And you look down at it and you can see that she has filled several of the pages in this book. And you can only guess that she must have been up all night writing in this book.
Okay, so she's been writing. I don't want to invade on her. Get up and look for Aldrich and Sable.
You get up and you start to walk around the library looking for Aldrich and Sable. You hear this slow, rhythmic breathing, and you follow it, turning around the corner, and you can see Aldrich sitting his back against one of the bookshelves down one of the stacks. A stack of books on either side of him, one sitting in his lap as his head is tilted back, resting against one of the bookshelves as he silently snores in his sleep. Sable on the floor next to him, a stack of books around her as well, is also fast asleep.
Is there anything in the library I haven't explored yet?
Is there anything in the library that you want to explore?
Is there a second floor?
You look up, wanting to investigate whether there's a second floor in this building, and you can see that although the ceiling is vaulted and high, and at its center you see this domed glass facade. You look at it and you recognize the work. The stained glass window, you recognize the workmanship because it matches the one that you've looked at several times every time you've sat in Kiara's class looking at this stained glass window. You can see that this window depicts different scenes from what seems to be different times and different eras, each with different species of creatures that are all working together to build these buildings and these structures and these edifices that glow and have these symbols around them. You can see some of these figures that look like they have flames coming out of their hands, while others seem to have vines that are growing around them.
Flames and vines.
Yes.
Okay.
You look at this stained glass dome that rests high above the bookshelves up above you, but you do not see a second story.
I want to go back inside the library.
You walk back into the library. You can see Maven standing near the front of it.
I want to say I couldn't find Gabriel.
4 eyes are better than 2 eyes. But let's go back.
Since when was that a catchphrase?
4 eyes are better than 2 eyes? I don't know.
I'm picking up where you're putting down. Like, I know what you mean. It's a weird way to say it, but yes.
The more the merrier.
Considering some of the creatures on this island, they probably have 4 eyes, so...
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I think it'd be more 2 sets of eyes are better than one.
Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah. Oh, whatever. You both walk out the door and Haun back into this courtyard, Maven into the courtyard for the first time, and you are almost overcome with all of the color and all of the commotion and all of the smells. One smell in particular that seems almost intoxicating, and I need you to make, let's say, an agility saving throw.
What?
Yes.
What?
You need to beat a 15.
That's a 12.
That's a 12? Okay.
With fear, bro.
No, it's a saving throw, so there's no hope or fear.
Okay, it's a 12.
So, with a 12, you smell this.
That's a 6.
That's a 6, so an 18.
Yeah.
You smell the smell that seems almost entrancing, and you turn towards this, your body almost instinctively trying to push you forward as your stomach growls at the smell of this sweet, savory scent that seems to be wafting in the air, kind of like a cartoon that, just because it smells so good would almost pick you up and lead you to its source. But you hesitate. Why do you hesitate?
I don't have any money.
Actually...
Well, I do, but I mean, I don't know if the currency...
You do have money. Money and gold work a little bit different in Daggerheart.
I have gold.
It's not as mechanical a function in the game like it is in D&D, but you both do have gold. Make me an instinct roll.
That's a 9 with fear.
9 with fear? Ooh, I get a fear. You look over at the source of the smell and you step towards its source. You can see a little stall close to the library. Behind the stall, you see this cheery looking orc with a sign at the front of his stall that says Bork's Bakery, best on the island.
I knew it! Is Bork
As you step forward, you run into something.
Oh no.
You run into a pile of rocks and you start to trip. I need you to make an agility saving throw.
This one.
Need to beat a 10.
Well, it beat a 10, but
Okay, it's a saving throw, so it's not hope or fear. You stumble over this pile of rocks, but you catch yourself as you go further out into this courtyard and towards all of the people and the commotion.
wait, does Han know where I'm going?
Are you following her?
Yes.
Yes, you're following her.
Okay.
So where are you going?
I guess to Bork's.
You walk up to this stall. It is not rudimentary. The detail of the woodworking of this stall is immaculate, as is the signage, which is surprising considering the figure behind it looks odd. His teeth large, yet his smile even larger. You see this orc rolling out pieces of dough and throwing them into a fryer in front of him. You walk up and he looks up at you, the smile growing even bigger on his face, and as he says, "Hello, welcome to Bork's Bakery, best on the island. I am Bork. What can I get you?"
What do you have?
"I have the best. I make the best. I have all these." And he spreads his arms out at a little display in front of you where you can see different cakes and treats and danishes and different baked goods all sprouted in front of you. The smell wafting up into your nose as your stomach again growls in hunger.
How much for one of these?
He looks at you and he says, 2 for 1 gold.
I pull out a gold coin and hand it to him. I'll take 2 of these.
"Oh, that's wonderful." And you drop the gold coin into his hand. As you do, you suddenly see his smile vanish as he brings his hand up to his face and grabs the gold coin and looks at it. And he looks at the gold coin and up at you, and he reaches out and he grabs your hand and quickly pulls you towards the cart. All of a sudden, you're staring at this orc right in the face, and although he was smiling before, he is not smiling now. As he looks at you, he tilts his head to the left and looks you over. He tilts his head to the right, and he looks you over, and then he looks right in your eyes. Quietly, but not in anger, you hear him say, "Don't." His voice drops even further, not threatening, but careful. He quickly glances around and he says, "Your coin is from the other side. Different mint, different weight, different color. If anyone else were to see this, they would know exactly who you are and where you came from." He nods over towards a banner on the other side of the courtyard, the same one that Han saw earlier that said, "We are safe, they did not come." And he says, "Right now is not the time to be where you're from. You need to be careful. You need to be safe. Luckily, you came to me first. I'm a friend of Aldrich. I know of things that other people don't know."
I'm very, very sorry. What does that sign mean?
"It means that the people here think that your side came to invade, came to try to conquer this land. So if you know what's good for you," and he reaches under the counter and he grabs something and he brings it up and he puts it in your hand. You could feel its weight as he does. It is a sack full of these clinking pieces. He says, "Trade me, exchange, give me the gold from your side. I'm not robbing you, I'm here to help you. But keep this in your pockets. Use it for whatever you need. But don't use what you have from before."
I guess I hand him the rest of
Did I
the
hand
gold
him
pieces.
all my gold coins?
Yeah. All of a sudden, you can see Bork glance over at someone standing near the cart. They're looking at Bork and then looking at you, and they see this bag of gold pieces that Bork is all of a sudden putting into your hands. In a movement so fast that even you don't feel it for a moment, you can feel him take the gold pieces out of your hand, and in its place, he leaves this piece of fried dough. He quickly shoves it into your mouth, almost violently, as he gets you to chew on this. He looks over at this clank, at this figure looking at the both of you, and he says, "She was trying to tell me that Fredericks were better. I need to prove her wrong." And he picks one of the pastries up and tosses it towards the clank, who, without moving any other part of its body other than its arm, catches it. And he says, "Spread the word. Bork's Bakery, best on the island." The clank looks at it for a moment and then turns and walks away.
We're gonna get in so much trouble.
He puts the bag of coins back into your hand and lets go of your arm. "Be safe," he says as he steps back, and then a smile returns to his face as he reaches down, as he grabs more pieces of dough and throws them into the fryer in front of him.
Let's look for Gabriel.
So where do you want to go?
Is there a weapon shop?
Do you want to look for a weapon shop?
Sure.
Make me an instinct roll.
Wait, how many pieces of gold are in the bag?
You look inside the bag and you can see several handfuls of gold inside the bag.
Holy cow, okay.
What was it?
Yes.
Critical success?
Yes.
Not surprising. There we go. You turn back into the courtyard to scan it, trying to look for a weapon shop or what you might think is a weapon shop. And across the courtyard, you see two stalls next to each other. You can see metal glistening on one of the stalls, and it draws you to it because you think there might be weapons there. You start to head across the courtyard, but as you do, you can hear Bork all of a sudden say, "Before you go." You turn around, and he launches a bag at you. Haun, you step forward in anticipation of catching this bag, but Maven, even before it gets close to you, you know what it is. You can smell it. More importantly, your stomach guiding you, taking control of your arms and your legs as you step forward and you snatch this bag out of the air in front of Han. You open it up and you see a bag full of these pastries.
Thank you. And then I guess we turn and walk away.
You turn and walk away towards these two stalls at the other side of the courtyard, and as you get closer, you can see that one of the stalls appears to be almost lavish, almost garish. The first stall, it's draped in this deep purple velvet, this dramatic, although slightly moth-eaten fabric with gold filigree and designs, with a large sign in very fancy font that reads Morty's Mystiques. The other vendor next to him is far more plain, more bare bones, with wood and a simple sign above it that says Fitch's Fabulous Finds. Below the sign of Morty's Mystiques, you see a small male goblin demonstrating with a lot of expression and a lot of exuberance, talking to a group of kids, trying to tell them about the thing that he has in his hands, but all of them seemed unimpressed. Next to him, you see a halfling woman looking over at this goblin and rolling her eyes in total disdain.
What does he have in his hand?
You can see that he has a small brass object in his hands, but you can't quite tell what it is.
How about you check out Morty's and I check out...
So you want to split up and go to each stall, or do you want to go to the stall together?
Sure.
Maven is going to Morty's. Who wants to go first?
Me.
You walk up to the stall, and you can see that the halfling woman behind the stall is still looking over at this goblin who is boisterously and with a lot of exaggeration demonstrating this black brass object. As you step up, she looks over at you, her eyes still rolling in the back of your head, and she says,
"Welcome to Fitch's Fantastic Findings. It's the only stall in the festival, or any festival, where you can acquire genuine, authenticated..."
And she yells it really loudly towards the direction of Morty to try to get his attention.
"Historically verified..."
She says even louder, and as she does, you look over and you can see Morty glance in her direction.
"Artifacts of the pre-breaking world.
Do you have any weapons?
I have something better than weapons."
She reaches around and she grabs this copper cup and she holds it up towards you and she says,
This is said to have been used by an individual of significant water affinity. Allegedly, liquids poured into this cup never spill, regardless of the angle. I tested it. The results were inconclusive, but the cup, very old, very valuable, very mysterious. I can give it to you for 2 gold.
I have all the gold pieces.
As you say that, you can hear a voice next to you say,
That is not historically verified artifacts. Oh, this woman, I don't understand her. Her face full of beauty, but her mouth full of lies. All lies.
and you can look over it and you can see this little goblin has abandoned the small little crowd of children in front of you and has come over to talk to you. And he says,
Look at this. This is much better. This is much better.
and he holds up this little brass coin, this disc. It's made of dark wood and brass integrated into each other, and at its center you can see a flame. And he says,
Don't listen to her. Listen to me. All of my things better. Verified, certified.
he says, looking over at her and kind of yelling, even though she's only a few feet from him.
This is better. It is said that it keeps fires burning even through storms. I've never tested it. I am afraid of fire. I don't want to test it. But you can take this, you can have it, and you can test it. It will be like, oh, it is the best. And you know what? I will make a deal. She was going to charge you 2 gold for her little cup. Nobody needs a cup. Nobody needs a cup. Everyone needs fire. Fire is important. Fire is better. You know what's better than a cup? Fire. Fire. Yes.
And he grabs your hand and he puts this thing in your hand and he says,
I can't believe I'm doing this. I have children to feed, and you know what? This is so good a deal. They're not going to eat today. They're not going to eat today because this deal is so good. But I will give this to you for 2 gold.
and you can hear her say,
He doesn't have any kids.
Don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. You want this. You need this.
Okay, this is the show I enjoy.
2 gold pieces, all yours.
Do you have any swords?
Swords? Who are you fighting that you need swords? You don't need you need sword. Are you fighting someone? Are you going out to battle somewhere? Who are we at war with? You don't need swords. What you need? Hold on just a moment.
and he runs back to his stall and he's rifling through these different bins, all of this purple fabric swaying and moving, and you can tell that the facade underneath all of this velvet decoration isn't as stable as it appears to be. So as he's rifling through all of these, he comes out and he says,
how about this one?
and he grabs something and he runs over to and he opens up your hand and he puts it in your hand. You look down and you see this flat river stone. It has a spiral carved out of it.
My grandmother said that this right here,
And he points to the stone in your hand.
this points home whenever you hold it in your hand. I've never been able to get it to do anything, but she was very certain. She was very certain that wherever you are, doesn't matter. You could be on in the shroud. You could be wherever. Wherever you are, this will point home. It will guide you home. It will guide you where you need to go. And you look like a person who needs to go home. But not right now. Right now you need to pay gold. Gold, this is fantastic. It will lead you home whenever you need to go home. Only 3 gold. Again, my children will not eat tonight because these deals are so good. 3 gold just for you.
The reason I would need a weapon is because what if a human might have gotten over to this side of the island?
Don't worry about that. I have something better for you.
And he grabs the stone out of your hand and goes back to his stall. And as he's rifling through his things, you can see the halfling woman come up towards you, and she grabs your hand, and in it she puts this brass thing. You look down at it, and you can see that it's a brass compass.
Don't listen to him, all right? His brain hasn't caught up with his mouth. Don't listen to what he says. He will tell you lies. I will tell you the truth. I will tell you the truth because mine are better. Mine certified like this. This is a brass compass. The needle, it does not point north. It points, and I want to be very precise about this, it points towards whatever the holder is thinking about most. Whatever you need, just think about it, and this will point to wherever you need most, which is either deeply useful, or deeply alarming, depending on who you think about.
And she winks at you.
I no longer test this one. For you, 2 gold pieces.
I grab 2 pieces of gold and hand it to Han.
You hand the gold pieces to Han. Han hands the gold pieces to this halfling woman. She grabs the gold pieces and then closes your hand around this compass. When all of a sudden you hear another voice saying, "What? Why are you giving her money? She does not need money. She has all the money. Me over there. Morty does not have money. Morty needs the money. That's why Morty takes the time to make sure that all of my wares are the best. It takes time and energy and effort, which she does not have. She takes all the time to make herself look gorgeous. No, all that time that she takes to look gorgeous, I take to make sure that all of these are certified. All of these are not fake." He yells at her direction and he says, "Like this." And he looks at you, Maven, and sees the sack of gold in your hand and hurriedly runs towards you. And he hands you a small jar and he says, This item is said to make food taste like chocolate, regardless of what you're actually eating. You want to eat a slug? Go ahead, eat a slug. Put this on it, tastes like chocolate. You want to eat, I don't know, tree bark? Maybe you're the kind of person who likes to eat tree bark. Do mushrooms eat tree bark? Okay, well, if you did, you could put this on it and it tastes like chocolate. I can't confirm this. The jar is mostly empty and I didn't want to use what was left in it, but you could use what was left in it for only 1 gold piece.
Is there something I could get for 2 gold pieces?
Two gold pieces. I just said this is 1 gold piece, and you want to give me more? Yes, you want to, sorry, yes, of course.
And he runs back to his stall and he's rifling to his stall and he grabs something and he comes back and he holds it up and you can see a brass token. And on this brass token, you can see waves etched into the brass.
Said to have been used by someone who could control water. Can you imagine that? Controlling water? This
Yes.
super powerful in the right person's hands. And you know what? I think you're the right person. So this, and he puts it in your hands. This is for your hands for 2 gold pieces.
I hand him 2 gold pieces.
Oh, wonderful. My children will eat tonight.
And you can hear the halfling woman say,
He doesn't have children.
Now you guys are even with money, so don't keep fighting.
Fighting? Who's fighting? We're not fighting. We're just, let's say,
Rivals?
Rivals. Yes, rivals. That's very good. Rivals. Rivals don't fight. They compete, and we compete. She competes with all of her, I don't know, gorgeousness. I don't compete with gorgeousness. I don't have gorgeousness. She has the gorgeousness. I don't have the
So you're calling her
gorgeousness.
cute?
he stops and stutters for a moment.
No. I wouldn't call. I mean, yes, she is cute. Well, she's not cute. She's beautiful, but that's beside the point.
And you can see him get so flustered and even though this goblin has this deep purple skin, you can see him all of a sudden turn red, his whole body changing as he stammers over himself.
You don't know what you're talking about, Morty. No, Morty, he wouldn't fraternize with the enemy. You don't. No, we're not enemies. Sorry, we're not enemies. We're
Rivals?
What was that word you said? Rivals. Yes.
Rivals.
No.
Rivals.
Yes, rival. That's the one. What was I saying?
I put a hand on Hans's shoulders and I say, we can leave now.
Can I walk over to the halfling?
What do you want to
I
tell
want
her?
to whisper in her ear. I think someone has a crush on you.
You lean down and you whisper in her ear that you think someone has a crush on you, and she immediately looks up into your eyes and smiles.
Morty.
She grabs you and she pulls you in close, and she says,
No, you fool. Don't. It has taken years for me to get close enough to him. Don't give me hope that something might come of this. I don't even like all of this mystical stuff. Does this stuff work? I don't know. I just wanted to be close to him, but you are going to ruin it if you try to make things complicated.
Morty looks over at you and then looks over at her, and he is still red. He is still completely embarrassed and flushed. And she looks at him, and he looks at her, and he gets even deeper red, even more flushed. And not knowing what to do, he runs back into his stall, and he's rifling through stuff. And he says, this. And he comes out with a small glass vial. In that glass vial, you can see water. And he says,
This has been here since before my grandmother was born. And that was a long time ago. I mean, a long time ago. You both seem pretty young, but no, long time ago. The water is always cold regardless of the temperature. I've never been able to empty it. I stopped trying. It's fantastic. 3 gold pieces.
So it's an endless supply of cold water.
you hesitate for a moment because apparently both of you aren't making a decision. And as you do, she runs up right next to Morty, like standing by him, a little too close to him. And in her hands, you can see a copper ring. You can look at the copper ring and you can see that it has a tiny feather engraved on it. And she says,
"This is so much better. Said to make your footsteps silent. I wore it for a week once. 2 gold pieces."
Should we spend the 5 gold pieces?
You wanna? I don't want to waste stuff, but those do seem important.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. I hand them both the money, grab the 2 things, and walk away.
okay, you grab the coins out of your bag and you start to hand the money over towards them. And both of them reach their hands up and touch and lay their hands on top of each other as these 5 gold pieces fall into their hands. And both of them start to fight over these gold pieces. Who's going to take the 3 and who's going to take the 2. And they start to move off towards their stalls as they're fighting over these gold pieces.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Where do you want to go?
I want to use the compass and see if it actually works to find Gabriel.
Go ahead and make me an instinct roll.
17 with hope.
17 with hope. That's really good. You open up this compass and you start thinking about Gabriel's face and how punchable it is. And as you do, and as your thoughts become singular and focused, you look down at the compass and you can see it all of a sudden start to move. And as it moves, it points directly down an alley between 2 buildings.
Let's go.
I guess we should follow the compass.
Using the compass as your guide, you start to walk across the courtyard, out of the courtyard, and between 2 of these buildings. As you do, you pass various crates and other barrels of things and more decoration and filigree that hasn't been yet put up. As you can see, people start to grab them and run out into the courtyard in further preparation of this festival. And as you walk further down the street, the noises get quieter. The sounds start to diminish, except for one sound, which is quiet at first, but as the other sounds around you start to go away, you can hear it. You can hear a crunch, like stone against stone, almost like footsteps behind you. You turn around and you can see stones stacked on top of the other, moving, stepping towards you, all of a sudden blocking the way between you and the courtyard beyond. And you can see that this is the Clank, the same one that you saw in the courtyard when you first entered the day before. The one who told you of the Seraph, the one whose name you don't know, but whose visage, whose face you recognize, as he all of a sudden says,
"I know who you are."
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Fumblelore. Fumblelore is me, Donovan, as the GM, Evelyn as Maven, and Ethan as Haun. If you like these episodes that we put together of the cinematic, family-friendly audio podcast, please help support the show by heading over to fumblelore.com and finding out more at how to become a patron. Patrons get a behind-the-scenes look at everything that we do here of the show and everything that's being developed, as well as any bonus content or episodes that might be coming out. One might be coming out very soon. We really do enjoy putting these episodes together, and if you enjoy listening to them, please give us a 5-star review on your podcast player of choice to help us find a wider audience. And be sure to come back next time for some more Fumblelore.
It's so funny because reminiscent of the first ever campaign that we did and recorded together.
Yeah.
And how I had like Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. And each act was going to take an hour, but then the first act took 4 hours by itself. It's funny because I have started doing outlines for each one of these episodes for the past 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah.
And out of all of the outline that I have for each episode, I think maybe we cover or get to or experience a third of it.